Wealth After 50 presents 5 Steps to be a Successful Entrepreneur After 50. Many people over 50 feel the desire to start a new business, whether due to a layoff or simply the need for a fresh challenge and new direction. I'm going to give you a 5-step blueprint to transform your years of wisdom into a thriving online business. We're going to tear down the myth that entrepreneurship is a young person's game. Research from MIT and the U.S. Census Bureau shows the average age of a founder of a high-growth startup is 45. In fact, a 50-year-old founder is nearly twice as likely to build a runaway success as a 30-year-old. We'll break down exactly how they do it and how you can follow in their footsteps. Step 1. Identify a niche. Let's start with the most powerful tool in your arsenal, your own life. For the last 30, 40, or even 50 years, you've been in the trenches of work and life. You've solved problems, navigated tricky situations, managed teams, and developed a gut instinct that only comes with time. This isn't just a pile of memories, it's a treasure trove of market research. Younger entrepreneurs often have to guess what problems people are facing. They run surveys and create customer profiles based on theory. You don't have to. You've lived it. You've seen the gaps in the market, the frustrations in a system, the unmet needs that big companies have ignored for years. This is the foundation of your future business. Think about Bernie Marcus. At 49, he was fired from his job as CEO of a home improvement chain. For most, that would have been a crushing blow, a signal to wind things down. For Bernie, it was a launchpad. He took his decades of retail experience, his deep understanding of what DIY customers needed, and a vision for a one-stop shop that didn't exist. The very next year, he co-founded the Home Depot. He didn't have to guess what customers wanted, he knew, because he'd spent a career in that world. Or take Arianna Huffington. She was a well-known author and commentator, but at 54 she saw how the media world was changing. She used her deep knowledge of journalism and politics to launch the Huffington Post in 2005, creating a whole new model for digital news. Her age wasn't a liability, it was the very thing that powered her revolutionary idea. So, how do you begin? Start with a simple inventory of your life. Grab a notebook and jot down the answers to these questions. First, what professional skills have you truly mastered? And think beyond your job title. Are you a killer negotiator? A brilliant project manager? An expert in some obscure but vital software? Second, what problems have you personally solved, for yourself, your family, or your bosses? Maybe you figured out a genius way to organize digital files, or developed a system for elder care that your friends now swear by. Third, what are your passions and hobbies? The stuff you do on a Saturday morning for free, just because you love it. Somewhere at the intersection of your skills, your solved problems, and your passions, there's a business idea. Look for who's being underserved. Vera Wang is a perfect example. At 40, she was planning her own wedding and was shocked by the lack of chic, modern wedding dresses. She saw a gap in the market that came directly from her own frustration. With a little nudge from her dad, she opened her first bridal boutique and ended up revolutionizing an entire industry. What is the business that only you could build? Step 2. Build your network. Now that you have a sense of where your idea lives, let's talk about your second greatest asset, your relationships. Over your life, you've built a vast and deep network of colleagues, clients, mentors, and friends. These relationships aren't just names in your phone. They represent trust, history, and shared experience. The people in your network have seen you in action. They know your work ethic, your integrity, and your expertise. When you reach out, you're not a stranger. You're a familiar face. Think about it. For every year you've worked, you've met dozens, if not hundreds, of people. These are your potential first customers, your future business partners, your best sources of advice, and your loudest cheerleaders. Many successful entrepreneurs over 50 say their network was absolutely critical to getting their venture off the ground. So, how do you tap into this network without feeling like you're just asking for handouts? The secret is to come from a place of genuine connection and mutual value. Don't lead with, "I'm starting a business, want to buy my stuff?" Start with, "I'm exploring a new chapter, and I've always respected your opinion." List 20 people from your entire career. Old bosses, people you managed, favorite clients, colleagues you admired. Don't overthink it, just write them down. Second, for each person, jot down what you remember and admire about them. Then, start reaching out. Not with a generic mass email, but with a personal, one-to-one message. "I'm starting to work on a new venture in a similar space and would love to get your take on an idea I'm kicking around." This approach does two things. It shows you value their specific insight, and it opens the door for a conversation, not a hard sell. In these chats, your main job is to listen, get their honest feedback on your idea, and ask who else they think you should talk to. You'll be blown away by how willing people are to help when you approach them with respect. Beyond your existing circle, start building new connections online. Join LinkedIn groups in your field. Pop into relevant forums. Find online communities where other entrepreneurs hang out. This is where you'll find people on the same path who can offer fresh ideas and keep you accountable. Step 3. Start lean. Embrace digital tools. One of the biggest fears that holds people back from starting a business after 50 is the thought of risk. You might be thinking, I've got a mortgage, retirement savings to protect. I can't just bet the farm on some wild idea. You're absolutely right. And the great news is, you don't have to. The days of needing a massive bank loan to get started are over. Today you can start lean, test your ideas without huge financial risk, and grow your business from the ground up. Starting lean means picking a business model with low overhead. For a lot of entrepreneurs approaching 50, this means starting online. Think about it. Consulting, coaching, creating digital courses, running an e-commerce store, or even starting a blog or YouTube channel can all be launched from your home office with just a computer and an internet connection. The trick is to avoid big, upfront investments until you know your idea works. You don't need to hire a full team right away. You start with what's called a minimum viable product, or MVP. This is the simplest, most basic version of your product or service that you can offer to your first customers. For example, if you want to be a consultant, your MVP is a single 1-hour session. If you want to launch a product, you don't need to manufacture thousands of them. You can use a model like print on demand, where another company handles inventory and shipping. Or you could sell a small batch of handmade goods on a site like Etsy or Shopify. Now about the tech. The thought of learning a bunch of new digital tools can be daunting, but here's the secret. These tools are designed to be easy. Companies like Shopify, Squarespace, and MailChimp have built empires on making technology accessible to non-techies. You don't need to know how to code to build a great-looking website. You don't need to be a graphic designer to make a sharp social media post. There are templates, tutorials, and support teams to help you at every turn. You can also use automation and outsourcing to manage your workload so you can focus on what you do best. There are tools to schedule your social media posts automatically. There are platforms that send out your email newsletters for you. And for tasks you hate or aren't good at, like bookkeeping or video editing, you can hire expert freelancers on sites like Upwork or Fiverr for a fraction of what a full-time employee would cost. It turns starting a business from a high-stakes gamble into a series of small, manageable experiments. Step 4. Continued learning and adapting. Your experience gives you wisdom, but in the fast-moving world of online business, that wisdom has to be paired with a commitment to always be learning. The digital landscape changes in the blink of an eye. What worked yesterday might be obsolete tomorrow. The most successful entrepreneurs at any age are the ones who stay curious, adaptable, and dedicated to sharpening their skills. When you combine your deep industry knowledge with an open mind, you become unstoppable. So what does being a lifelong learner actually look like? It doesn't mean you need to go back to school for another degree. It's about building small, consistent learning habits. First, become an information sponge in your niche. Subscribe to industry newsletters. Follow the top thinkers in your field on social media. Second, be strategic about skill development. Figure out the 1 or 2 skills that would make the biggest difference in your business right now. Is it social media marketing? Learning a specific piece of software? Getting better at sales? Sites like Coursera, Udemy, and YouTube itself are packed with high-quality, affordable training. Third, get comfortable with experimenting. The only way to truly learn what works is to try stuff. Test different marketing slogans. Play with your pricing. Try out a new social media platform. Some of these experiments will fail, and that's not only expected, it's necessary for growth. Every failure is a piece of data. It's a lesson for your next attempt. You know that true mastery doesn't happen overnight. By embracing a mindset of lifelong learning, you ensure your business stays relevant, competitive, and ready for whatever comes next. Step 5. Persist, iterate, and scale. This final step is maybe the most important, and it's a quality that is forged in the fires of experience. Resilience. Building a business is not a smooth, straight line to the top. There will be setbacks. There will be moments of self-doubt. There will be days you want to throw in the towel. Your ability to push through those challenges is what separates the entrepreneurs who make it from the ones who don't. And as someone who has navigated 5 decades of life, you have a deep well of resilience to draw from. This kind of persistence isn't just about being stubborn. It's about being smart. It's about listening to the market and being willing to iterate. Iteration just means making small, steady improvements to your product, your marketing, and your business based on feedback. You start with your minimum viable product, get it to your customers, And then you listen, really listen, to what they say. What do they love? What's confusing? What features are they begging for? That feedback is pure gold. It's the market telling you exactly how to make your business better. Your job is to take that feedback, make smart adjustments, and launch the next version. This cycle of building, measuring, and learning is the engine that drives business growth. Once you have iterated your way to something that the market truly loves, what's called product market fit, then you can start thinking about scaling. Scaling is just the process of thoughtfully reinvesting your profits to grow. This could mean putting money into digital ads to reach more people. It might mean hiring your first employee to take some work off your plate. Or it could be developing a new product line for your loyal customers. The key is to scale smartly. A lot of businesses fail because they try to grow too fast before they've proven their model. But because you started lean and iterated based on real customer feedback, you can scale with confidence. Resilience, iteration, and smart scaling are the traits of a mature entrepreneur. It's the understanding that success isn't a single event. It's a process. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and you've been training for it your entire life. Your most successful, meaningful, and profitable chapter is ahead of you. It's waiting for you to go out and build it. And remember, it's never too late to grow your wealth after 50.